Another day, another live stream. So, last night was oh, how far can I get my laptop without turning the light off? Last night was pretty interactive, so I'm back. Hopefully there's no hopefully there's no shootings tonight. But no, I enjoyed the participation yesterday, so I'm gonna try it again. Notification gang. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Actually, you just made me think about that. I need to start telling people to put their notifications on. That's a good way to get participation. That way, I'm going on a live stream. Probably should tell people to do that. Let me let me pull up the stream on my laptop. That way I can not miss the comments. Chilling. How's your how's your language learning going, man? Hasn't really been that long since the last time I asked you, so I suspect it's similar to last time. You learn anything new? If you did learn something new, I'd like to hear it. Maybe you'll teach me something. Do, 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 do. Also, I got like a slight dilemma. My dilemma is that it is hot up in here. Not super hot, it's like 72 degrees. But if I run the AC, that shit's loud. So in Washington, there's not central AC. So you have to buy an air conditioning unit, which means you need to attach it to the window. If the window's open, that's already loud in itself. If the window's open and I'm running the AC, like that's just gonna be bad quality. So I wouldn't do that. But that means I have to suffer a little bit. So that's what's going on right now. In fact, if you actually pay attention during like videos where I do like interviews or even like these live streams, you'll see me like I do this a lot because I'm wiping the sweat off my face. I'm suffering for y'all. Nothing new, bro. Why? It's been at least like 2 weeks since the last time I asked you about anything Spanish. You should have at least learned one new word or something, bro. Last time we talked about what did we talk about? We talked about you getting slightly confused by maybe the past tense subjunctive. No, I know what it was. It was uh I just saw your comment. You learned new vocab. Okay, I want to know what the new vocab was, bro. No, no, no. You were saying that those two tenses were similar. I just don't know what they're called. But we'll say like I need to think of something that's not an irregular verb. I can't think of it, but you know what I'm talking about. I remember the conversation. But yeah, I'd like to know what new vocab you learned. At least one of the words. I'd like to hear it. I would like to hear it. There's always new words to learn. Native language or not. Sometimes I hear people speak in English. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Conditional and subjunctive. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know the like I said, I don't really be knowing the grammar terms, but I know what it is. But yeah, sometimes I speak to people at my job And I'm like, man, this dude's got a colorful vocab, bro. Like, obviously, like, I'm smart, so I can understand the word in context when I hear it, but I'll just be like, man, either I've never heard this before or I've heard it so few times that it sounds new. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to try to use that word in the future. That's a good word for this situation. So I like that. I like learning new words. I like hearing new phrases. Everybody talks different. A lot people say the same things, but they say it differently based on like their experiences or where they grew up or whatever. So I'm always interested in how people describe situations or like their perception of word. Because like sometimes people might think you're talking aggressively or being rude based on a word you use, but you'll be like, oh no, where I'm from, like that's an everyday word. Like that's nothing. So it's interesting. I learned how. I'm thinking you didn't mean to put how there. I learned innegable, como undeniable. You know, it's funny. I know that means something close to undeniable, right? What's funny is I've learned words. Well, not like most of the words I learned in Spanish, at least these days, anyways. I don't do any like rechecking in English, right? So sometimes I'll learn a word or I'll like study a topic, I'll read a book, whatever, and it's all in Spanish. And I'll 100% know what it means. If I'm having a Spanish conversation, I'll be able to use it. But, like, for instance, when I just read that right now, I'm like, innegable, and I'm like, what is the English equivalent to that? It's not that I don't know the definition, it's that I've never thought to say, like, oh, well, if I wanted to translate or interpret, what English word would I use? And that is the tough part about being an interpreter that people don't think about. Um, because I've thought about becoming an interpreter. And so like when I watch like boxing and UFC fights, I try to like interpret and translate on the spot. And I'm always like, yo, this shit's tough. Like, this shit's tough because on the spot you have to try to come up with the equivalent in the other language that matches the energy of the word in the first language. Just because something is a synonym or even an exact translation doesn't mean that it matches the energy, if that makes sense. And so a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I speak both of these languages. I could easily be a translator. It's like, no, you can't. No, you can't. You can know exactly what someone said and know exactly what they mean, but you're trying to think about how you would say it in the other language, and you're like, ooh, how would I say that in the other language? That's tough. Have I heard the expression como que no? Yeah. Did you just learn that? Or are you just asking me for just to ask me? But I think como que no is a good example, right? Like if you try to translate that directly, it wouldn't go well. Or like como que anything, like como que whatever is more like saying what do you mean in English? Like what do you mean no? Like what do you mean blank? But if you tried to go word for word, or if you tried to say like what like that like it, you would just or even like how that how like you would just be like this doesn't make sense. You would have to hear it in context, and you would just have to know. You would have to know this is how people use this this pair of words. This is how people use this sentence to really know how to translate into the other language. And you have to have a good knowledge of your own native language too. That's the other part people don't think about. Like, just because you can understand people talking your native language doesn't mean that you have a colorful vocab. So you could understand the language that you're hearing. You could understand your own native language, and you can hear whatever, and you can say, I don't know, I don't have the vocabulary to express that, even in my own native language, even if you understand it. That was a bunch of words, but I'm sure y'all know what I'm saying. It's tough trying not to translate in your head and just picture what you're saying in the language you're trying to speak. It is, but also it isn't. The tough part is it depends on the way you learn. So like I said, if you learn through conversation, or if you like the expression that he just brought up, como que no, como que whatever. If you heard that enough times, you will automatically say it. It's not there's nothing that you would think in English and say like, how do I say this? It's more like you'll be like unamused by what someone said. You'll be like, okay, whatever. And so the reason that like in the beginning when you learn a language, it's normal to think in whatever your native language is, because you literally don't have the vocab to express whatever you're thinking. But as you progress in a language, if you're having experiences in that language, there should be some stuff to me that you can't even think about in your native language. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I know, Dakota, that you was it Japanese? You're learning Japanese or learn Japanese or whatever. So I don't have an example for that, but there's some words that in Spanish just don't really translate to English. You could come up with a translation. You could do an interpretation, but it doesn't. It's not the same. And so it's like I wouldn't even be thinking it in English. It's like I'm in this situation, and I would automatically think about it in in Spanish. So it is tough. It is tough, especially for like the class of language that you're learning, because that's not a romance language. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff that you don't even have like cognates for. Like, well, I mean, your language probably doesn't have any cognates. If it does, I'm sure it's very few. But at least with like English and Spanish, words that end in like, let's say, or, right? So like doctor, it's like doctor. Like, okay, if I if I never heard that word before, I could still say, oh, this is probably that word. If I knew the word professor, even if I never ever ever heard professor, I could still say that's probably it. But like, what do you do in Japanese if you don't know? If you never heard the word for professor in Japanese, you have to just be like, fuck, like I don't know what to do, because they don't have the same base, so you can't even like use rules to be like it probably ends in this. So you're definitely in a tougher situation. So I'm not minimizing your experience at all. Do I have any tips to start thinking in Spanish? Uh, Kind of goes along with what I just said. Start having more experiences in Spanish. Start doing stuff in Spanish. I know that sounds simple, but like when I started learning Portuguese, which I didn't really take it that far, but I learned in Spanish. I didn't learn in English. I learned in Spanish. Or like my dance classes are in Spanish. So stuff like that. It's like there's words for dancing that I only know in Spanish, because I've never danced in English. I'm not a dancer. So when I started taking dance classes, it's all in Spanish, and I wouldn't even know what the equivalent is in English, to be honest, because I never knew in English in the first place. So that helps you. It helps to not even have a fallback, right? If there's something you've been saying your whole life and you start trying to say it in a second language, it's gonna be natural, of course. Like, language is just like you trying to get another person to perceive what's going on in your head. So, for instance, this as soon as my eyes see this, I think glass. I think glass in English though, because I've seen glass 1 million times in my life. Whether I think glass jar, whether I think glass cup, whatever, I automatically think about this in English. Obviously, I know how to say whatever in Spanish, but because I had so many experiences with this in English, that's just the first thing that pops up. Now, if I see, um, like for instance, like I'm not gonna go pick it up, but there's a there's a lime on my table. Literally, when I see that, I think limon because I didn't really eat limes growing up. So my experiences with limes are in Spanish for the most part, or even like mango. Like, yeah, I know what a mango is. I know how to say it in English. I'm a native speaker, but most of my experiences with those fruits are in Spanish. So have more experiences in Spanish, do more things in Spanish, learn things in Spanish. The more like input you get, even if you um, don't dominate that subject in Spanish, at least you might like balance it out, right? If you keep hearing something in Spanish so many times, you'll have this amount of experience with it in Spanish and this amount of experience with it in English. So at least it'll be like on the same level and not like you instantly think about it in English and you're like, what is it in Spanish? Funnily enough, when I'm angry, I sometimes think in Polish. Yeah, that's a good example. Like maybe for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe like you had experiences, maybe your parents or relatives screamed in Polish. Um, or yeah, there's a bunch of different reasons, but yeah, like if you have experiences in that language, especially emotional experiences, they will be stronger. Or like another good thing, like cussing, right? Cussing in your native language is harsh. Like my good friend from Colombia, like nobody in his family speaks English, right? And he has a decent level of English. So he'll be on like we'll be on Skype and he'll just be like, "Ah man, what the fuck?" Because like that's not gonna get a reaction out of anybody, right? And so like his default is cussing in English because he can do that like without drawing attention to himself, right? Like if I like say like diablo or like coño, like no one no one in America, if unless I'm around Spanish speakers, right, they're not gonna look at me and just be like, oh my god, I can't believe you said that. So I can start saying that throughout the day. Like I can force myself. I stub my toe or something. Diablo. Like, and the more you do that, the more like automatically when you have an emotional experience, like you're gonna think in those terms. So he's just done that so many times that he says it in English. Like literally, he'll like drop his cup or something, and he'll be like, "Shit, man!" It's just hilarious because the whole conversation he just cusses in English randomly. So, um, how long did it take you to start forming more complex sentences with more grammar components? That's tough to say. I mean, it's definitely a progressive process, right? So, like, I have distinct memories of like the first time I said something like more than "Hi, my name is this," right? And then I remember, and again, this might not mean anything to you because you're not learning Spanish, you're learning Japanese, but I remember watching a show with the subtitles in Spanish, and I just remember asking my wife, like, yo, what is this? I've never seen anything that looks like this in Spanish. And it's the equivalent of like saying, like, I have, I have done this, or I have talked to this person, or I have lived here. and in the first person in Spanish it's he, right? And so like I'm new to Spanish. I can understand a decent amount, but I'm like, my brain is looking at like he. I'm like, did he say he? Because like that can't be Spanish. Like he. I've never seen. There's no words in Spanish that look like that. They all end in ar, er, ir. And so I remember the first time I saw it, I'm like, what is that? Like, and then like she said, like she answered, she's like, oh, that's just like saying like, I have eaten today or whatever. And I'm like, what? Like, how does that even make sense? And then I remember my bro from Colombia, like it was literally like the next week, he was like, hey, I want you to start working on like saying like this. And he told me it, and he's like, that's just uh this version of haber. And I'm like, oh, so it's like saying like I have, but not like I have something. I have done this. I have eaten. I have talked. And he's like, yeah, 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 same thing. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. And then I start trying to say it, and you know, there's rules. There's rules to grammar that you don't know. So I start trying to say it, and he's like, no, no, no. Anytime you say that, the next word has to be in the past tense because you have done this thing, right? It's already done. You can't say I have going to. Like it doesn't make sense. I'm like, oh man, this is confusing. It's really not confusing, but I don't know shit, right? I just started. And so it's just like that. You hear something, just like a kid. A kid hears you say something, they try to say it like you, and they might repeat that one sentence just like you, and they try to apply that rule to their own sentence, and you're like, nah, that's not how you do it, kid. And you tell them like that's wrong. And after you tell them enough times, this is how you say it. This is how you say it. This is how you say it. They start learning how to say it, and then they find out there's another level up from that. If you want to say, if I would have done this, and then you start finding out like, oh damn, like that's complex. Like if I want to say if I would have done this, and then you find out you can say if I would have done this, then this would have happened. That's a whole nother grammatical structure. So I can't really put a time on it to answer that question. It was just a long, slow process of like saying stuff wrong, finally getting it and thinking I had the language down, and then you find out something new, and you're like, "How have I never heard this, bro? I've been speaking for months. How have I never known that this is a concept like the subjunctive? I kind of knew what the subjunctive was, but I didn't. And then once I got a hold of it, I'm like, how have I been talking without this? Like that means nothing I've been saying is making sense. Like people are just like, okay, sure, bud. Like, but you can't really speak in Spanish without without knowing the subjunctive because it doesn't like you're not making sense when you talk. So that was a long answer. Hopefully, some of that made sense. Yeah, that's definitely what it was. My mom and pops definitely would go absolutely ham on cussing and whatnot when they're angry. Yeah, there you go. You have experiences in the language. The stronger the experience is, the more it sticks with you. I've told, well, let me read this last one before I say this. Consequently, I have issues talking sweetly in Polish. It sounds so insincere when I try. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I've told this story on here a bunch of times, but one of my strongest, most embarrassing memories is my wife's mom asking me where the pots in here. She asked me where the pots were in Spanish. ¿Dónde están las ollas? And I just didn't. It wasn't clicking in my brain. It was like I was hearing it, and I was like, "Soldiers?" Like it was like in my head, it was like one word. Like I don't know what was happening, bro. Like looking back on it, like I don't know if I just got nervous or what, but I was like, I don't know. I don't know what that is. And she was like, las ollas, ¿dónde están las ollas? And I'm like, no sé, I don't know, I don't know. And she just was like, and like reached down and like grabbed the pots. And I was like, oh, las ollas, yeah, right there. And like, it was such a strong memory of like embarrassment. And, like obviously, like you don't want to feel embarrassed, but it was such a strong memory of embarrassment that like I could never forget the words for pots, even if I wanted to, because like sometimes it's like 2 a.m. and I open my eyes and I'm like, I can't believe I didn't know the word for pots in Spanish. Like after I had like already been having conversations in Spanish, bro. Like I could not think of the word for pots. Not just I couldn't think of, 'cause that's normal that you kind of like forget a word, right? Sometimes even in English, I'm talking, I'm like, what's this thing called? But imagine in your own language if someone was like, hey, bro, you got a fork? And you were just like, uh, what's that? And they're just like, a fork, bro, a fork. Like, that's how that felt. Like, I was just like, how could I not know what pots are, bro? That's like probably day two on Duolingo or something. So, have experiences in your language. The stronger they are, the more you're going to remember it. Have to get used to the embarrassment if you're gonna learn a language. So many awkward moments with my tutors because I heard a word wrong. Yeah, super super normal. And in fact, like you have those experiences in your native language probably every day, but you just don't care. Like I can't tell you the amount of times I'm like, what? Like what'd you say, bro? I don't know what you just said. Like I really couldn't hear you. And they say it again, and I'm like, bro, what? Like what are you saying, bro? Like I literally did that today, earlier today. I asked this dude what he said like 3 times. I just couldn't understand him, bro. I don't know what he was saying. Like I don't know if it's mumbling or what. And he finally said it louder. I'm like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I did it already. If that would have happened in Spanish, like I would have started sweating, bro. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm a fraud. Like maybe he's saying something simple and he thinks I'm stupid or something. But like, I speak English, bro. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying, bro. Like maybe you're stupid. Like, cause why can't I understand you? So yeah, you definitely just gotta get used to feeling embarrassed. Or even better would be don't be embarrassed. Like you're embarking on a journey to learn a new language. Like if you think you're gonna be able to do that without messing stuff up, you're crazy. Like it's literally impossible. So Phil says I'm late. Yeah, you late, bro. We're like 30 minutes in, man. Where you at? Where you been at, man? No gunshots on the live today. Folks pretending to be elite runners. Yeah, I don't know if I listened to the last voice note you sent me, but the one I listened to, I heard you panting, so I was like, he must be out on a run. So, but yeah, Maradi did not come out for 221. He pissed me off because I was gonna start this live at 8, bro, but he did 200 and he called for 210. So I was like, ooh, 10 kilo jump. I'm like, okay, I want to see this. Cleans 210, tries to jerk it, it goes just like right behind him. And it's like I messaged you and I was like, bro, I'm like, what was his injury? Because like his overhead is just looking weak. Calls for 220. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I can't start the live yet, bro. I need to see if he's actually gonna do this 220. The other dude who's like in second place cleans 220, he can't jerk it. Maradi calls for 221 after that, bro. Why did he call for 221 after that? I don't know. So I'm waiting. I'm like, I gotta see this before I start the live. Waited, and he just decided not to come out because he won the competition with the 200. So him and the other dude both tied with 362 totals, but his body weight was lower somehow, even with that stomach. So that's crazy. You say he messed up his back, but bro, people in the chat were saying that it was his elbow, bro. And I was trying to remember like what he got surgery on, and I couldn't remember. I don't remember it being his elbow though. I was thinking he had a shoulder injury or something. So I don't know. He had surgery on it. Serious. What do they always say? Severe back injury. Ilya, Apti, all these dudes. Akayev. He had a severe spinal injury that may have ended his career comes back in 6 months with a PR. Okay, bro. Sure. Exactly. Meanwhile, world record next meet. Sure. Nah, the language chat was heating up though, bro. Phil, you can come in here with weightlifting and running and ruin the whole language chat, bro. Who's in here right now? Let me see if I can see. Comes back in 2013, new world record. Yeah, I wonder what he's up to, man. I haven't seen nothing from him in a long time. Oh man, you know what? My chat is weird on my laptop, bro. Like I be seeing like some stuff comes late. Just started watching for real. I fuck with the movement, learning French right now. That's dope, man. Why'd you pick French? I'm guessing your name is Myri. It could be Myri, but that don't sound right. So I'm gonna guess it's Myri. I know a Myri. That's the only reason I think that. In Houston, he was in the military uniform. Yeah, I knew he was. I knew he was some kind of military. Yeah, but in where Myri, if you French at all, that's a lie. I took French in third grade. I took 1 year of French, one semester, and I don't remember anything. Yes, my spoken in my family. It's a super cool surprise, bro. Just pop up one day, just talking. So, what's your background of French and Spanish are spoken in your family? Did they learn, or is the? I feel like if both of those are spoken in your family, you got to be from somewhere where they speak French and Spanish. Let me see. No, hold on. Third grade. I'm getting memories. I'm about to embarrass myself on the live stream. It was like un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. About to mix up German and French. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq. Nah, I don't remember. Damn, it was coming back, bro. It was like a little PTSD, bro. I just saw my French teacher's face for a second. I got scared. I was like, oh shit. I don't remember nothing, bro. I do remember there like a phrase sounded like it almost sounded like oh shit because I would keep trying to say up in class. It was like oh sweet something like that like, and it had a similar meaning because I'll be like oh shit, and she would be like no 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 it's a sweet or something like that. I don't like I said I don't speak French, and she would be like you're saying it wrong, and I'll be like I'm trying. I'll be like oh shit. So that was good times. That's why I got PTSD because she kicked me out the class. So. One side of your fam's African and the other Dominican. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. Did you get started on Spanish already? Do you already speak Spanish already? And last name is French and shit. Okay. That's dope, man. Yeah, how far are you into your French? Like what level are you at? And what like I said, what are you finding difficult about it? Cuz really the language learning process for all languages is really the same. Um, People like to make it more difficult than it is, but it's really getting the basic structures of whatever language you're in down, and then it's having conversations. Like people want to flesh out in between those spaces and get on applications and shit, but they're just prolonging the inevitable. Like you have to start talking to people, and so people that spend 5 years on Duolingo, they see people on YouTube say like how I became conversational in 3 months, 6 months, 5 months, and they're like, no, that's impossible, blah blah blah. But it's like, no, it's not. If you start talking today with people, like you're gonna be talking in months, like 100%. And I always recommend people do italki. And it's funny because I've actually never used italki, but I know the concept of it. It just so happens that I just know people that speak Spanish, so I just talk to them. If I didn't know them, I would get on italki and find someone to talk to. Right now, I know basic words. Been learning the most common ones so I can understand sometimes when people speak, but I'm nowhere near conversational. Okay. So for one, I just put out a video today, like a couple hours ago, talking with this dude named Pablo who speaks 7 languages. French is one of those languages. He has a degree in linguistics. Super, super, super smart dude. If you go watch that video, he's basically going to tell you what I just said. Knowing the basic words is good. Now you need to know the most basic grammatical structures. I don't know anything about French, so I can't even begin to lead you in the right direction. But I do know if it's a Romance language, it probably has the same structures as Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, to the point that like you have a verb, you conjugate it in these different forms to say I do this, you do this, he does this, we do this, blah blah blah. Once you know how to do that in the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense, you can literally talk to anybody. Even if you can't fully express yourself, you can have conversations. And when you have those conversations by talking to them, that is how you're gonna learn like what people say in situations, right? Um, like when I like a long time ago when I used to try to use apps like Duolingo and stuff, they're not gonna put what people say every day on those apps. Like no English teaching app is gonna put what's happening, what's up. Like they're not gonna put what's up on a formal language learning app. So they teach you how to say how are you doing, like how is your day going, stuff like that, which is cool. That's fine if you're like at work, but I want to know how people talk in the street. I want to like not like maybe not like the hood street, but just like literally everyday people, because that's how you connect with people, bro. If somebody comes up to me and they say, "Hey, how are you doing?" and they stick their hand out, I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm good," but I'm gonna probably walk away. Somebody says, "Hey, what's up, bro? How's it going? I'm trying to find this." I'll probably be more likely to connect with them. You know what I'm saying? And so you can only learn those greetings and how regular people talk by talking to those regular people. Like whatever people you're talking to, you're gonna pick up their mannerisms, their slang, their expressions, whatever, whatever. So that's really what you have to do and get the basic structures of the language and just jump in head first and feel embarrassed. That's literally what little kids do, like minus the embarrassment and shame because they don't know shame. Like little kids literally just repeat after everything you say. If they hear you cuss, instantly they're cussing. Um, Whatever you say, they just repeat it. And it's hilarious. We think it's funny, but they're just trying to learn, bro. They're like, I don't know what he just said, but I'm gonna just say it and try to be like him. I use italki and it's great. Been having great conversations, but still having troubles forming more complex sentences to form better opinions. And I'm guessing you meant nuances instead of nuisances in your conversation. I think that's normal. Like I said, Japanese is definitely a complex language. I think like from what I remember in the military, Japanese, Mandarin, and Arabic, or Japanese, Mandarin, Arabic, and Russian were like an would be able to form more complex sentence structures is to speak to people that are forming complex sentence structures, um, and literally just try. Like, try I'll give you an example. And I'm gonna have to try to translate this to English for it to make sense, or else you're just gonna be like, what is he talking about? Like I said earlier, when I used to try to say, if I would have done this in Spanish, I used to always say it wrong. And my bro in Colombia, he would just be like, oh, if you would have done this. And I'll be like, oh, okay, if I would have done this. But I was saying something closer to like, if I would, I don't know, if I would be doing this. But like he knew what I was trying to say because I would say like if I would be winning the lottery, I would be having this. And he'll be like, if you would have won the lottery, you would have this. And I'll be like, yes, 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 that's what I'm trying to say. So if we break that down, then first you need to understand if someone else said, if I would have won the lottery, I would have this. And once you can say, I 100% know what that person is saying, then it's a matter of like mimicking them, right? Or at least mimicking them and maybe substituting something. If I would have won the game instead of the lottery, I would have this, or I would be the champion. Um, so the first thing is just knowing it, literally reading more, listening to more conversations, having more conversations to the point that when someone else says the complex thing that you want to be able to say, instantly you're like, I know what that means. If you don't know what that means, you have no chance of saying it, right? Because you don't understand it. So understand it. The next step is trying to say it yourself, which is gonna be it's gonna be a failure. Like you just gotta accept that. Like you said before, it's embarrassing or whatever. It's gonna be a failure. You try it. You try it. You try it. You try it. You get corrected enough, or you just say it wrong enough, and have enough miscommunications that you fix it yourself, and then you know it. That's how it works. I don't know. Like I don't know when's the last time you talked to a little kid, but like I said, little kids they say stuff wrong all the time. They express stuff wrongly all the time. They'll say something and you be like, okay, then we can do that. We can get you blank. And they'll be like, no, that's not what I want. And it's like, well, that's what you said, bro. And they went, oh, well, I meant this. Okay, well, that's not what you said. And they learn, like, when I say these things, I don't get the results I want. So they fix it. They say it a different way. Okay, that's what you meant to say. You meant to say this. They get the results they want. Now they know, okay, this is the way I probably should say it next time. So that's another goal of mine, a degree in linguistics, some type of travel job, and that's literally what I say. I'm teaching my Korean friend better English, and it's I teach him how not to talk like a robot. Yeah, exactly, bro. You don't want to talk like a robot because the whole point of conversation is connecting with people, right? And it depends on what crowd you want to connect with too. There's people, you know, maybe they want to learn English only in a professional setting because they want to be a government official or something. Sure, you don't want to party, you don't want to kick it with people on the street. That's cool. That's fine. I don't want to learn languages to be a U.S. ambassador. I want to talk to people. I want people to invite me to their house. I want to drink with people. I want to blah blah blah. So I don't want to like put them off by talking like a robot. And they're like, "Is this dude in the DA or something, bro? Like, what is this?" I have noticed my listening and understanding what has been said to me is greater than my ability to speak. I've heard this is the best foundation for learning language. For learning a language. So again, in the video that I put out today with Pablo, he actually covered that, and he said, he. I'm gonna try to quote him verbatim somewhat. He said, "If you're watching this right now and you can understand stuff but you can't speak, that's normal. Like you're gonna be able to understand stuff before you can speak, and it should be like that. Like I said again, if you think about a kid, kids can understand commands way, 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 way before they can form sentences. Like little kids, you could be like, "Hey, put that down," and they know what that means, even if they don't put it down. Or you say, "Hey, bring that to me, bring that to me." They'll bring it to you. They wouldn't be able to talk back to you. They wouldn't be able to say a full sentence. They understand what's being said to them through context, um, through your mannerisms, through whatever. So it's super normal to be able to understand a lot and not be able to speak. So that's definitely a positive thing that you should be encouraged by and not discouraged by. Now, if it had been 2 years and you didn't understand anything, I would be like, maybe you should be a little discouraged. My mom went from not reading to ending phone calls with that. Bro, funny story. I had this client. This was like, it's been like 3 years. It's 2023. Yeah, maybe 2.5 years. This was right after we got off the lockdowns. I got this German client. Dakota, this might have been your old client. She was like German, bro. Like she had lived here like 15 to 20 years, but when you hear such a thick accent instantly, I'm like, are you German? She's like, yeah, born and raised in Germany. She obviously met a soldier, had kids, came here. And she said something along the lines of like, man, them people be blah blah blah. And I was like, no disrespect, but like, is your husband black? And she was like, yeah, why? And I was like, only black people talk with like the habitual be like that. When you say like those people be doing this or like he be doing this. And so like I said earlier, you're gonna pick up the mannerisms and the way that people talk that are talking to you. So I instantly knew that she was around black people by the way she was talking. Like even with the thick German accent, bro. The crazy thick German accent, and I'm just like, oh yeah, you've been talking to black people, like straight up, like it was instant, bro. I heard one sentence and I was like, yeah, you've been kicking it with black people. Yeah, 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 yeah. I was thinking, I was like, this might have been your client before. Yeah, she is super cool. She's super cool. Uh, she has some problem. Can't remember exactly what it was. But she had some problem. I remember she was kind of fragile. She was kind of fragile. Your mom said already? That is funny, bro. I'm thinking about somebody. I'm thinking about somebody of that descent saying already, and that is funny. My dog, what's up, bro? Haven't seen you in a minute. Thanks for dropping in, bro. I'm from Jersey and shit, so my Korean friend stays picking up on the stuff we say, even little shit like bugging. Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's like regionalisms, right? There's stuff that only people say in certain places. So you like, oh yeah, you had to be kicking it with those people to even like know that terminology, or at least studying those people. Like you from Jersey. I don't know if people say this in Jersey or if it's just a New York thing. I went to college in New York, and people will be like, "Yo, it's mad brick outside," and I'll be like, "Brick? Like, why you say it's brick outside? Like, what? How does that mean that?" They'll be like, "Bro, I gotta go put an extra jacket on. It's mad brick outside," and I'm like, "Yo, this is the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life, bro." Like, but it had got to the point I had lived up there for so long, bro. I said that shit one time, and I felt like disappointed in myself, bro. I was like, "Did I really just say brick, bro?" Like, I was like, "I gotta get out of here, dog." Like, it was weird, but that's just how it works, bro. If everybody around you talks a certain way, like, you're not gonna just like not say it. Like, you like, oh, like this how they talk, bro. This is what they're gonna understand. You know what I mean? Yeah, 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 yeah. Shit ton of surgeries on her wrist. Yeah, but she had something else too, bro. Like whenever you left, something else had happened to her. So I can't remember exactly, but something else had happened to her. The Chinese dude that learned English from a Jamaican person gotta be the funniest. Yeah, bro. It's all of that kind of stuff is hilarious, bro. How about it? How about what? That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. There's a handful of things that I still say that people up here just be like kind of confused by it. And I have to instantly say something else because I'll be like, "Ugh, they don't know what I'm talking about. Shit, even bet. Like, if you're not young enough or if you're not from a certain place, like sometimes I say bet and people are like, bet what? And I'm like, bet, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not saying like let's bet. I'm saying bet, bro. Like, I don't even know how to explain that. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Matter of fact, when I went to college in New York, I can't actually think of the last time I said already, but I used to get out the phone, I'd be like, already, or people would say like blah blah blah, I'd be like already. They'd be like already what, and I'd be like already like already like I don't know what to say after that, bro. Like nobody says already what you say already, the next person says already like so yeah. Like I wouldn't even like Phil. How would you explain already? Besides saying it's kind of like bet, but if someone was like already what would you say, bro? Because that's how I used to be. I used to be like, what do you mean already what, bro? I just said already. Like I don't know what to tell you, bro. Yeah, I can't explain it either. Exactly. I figured you was gonna say that, bro. I never explained it to people. I'd be like, don't worry about it. You good. Like I'll see you later. East Coast slang is like a whole different language. I learned. Yeah. Yeah. It's totally different. I agree. Even like, bro, I went to school in New York. Still, I talk to certain people. What are you talking about, bro? Like, I don't know what you're saying right now. I'm not trying to be funny. Like, you just use too many different words, bro. And I feel like you made that shit up. Yeah, Wildin' is a good one. Wildin' is a good one. I remember when I first got up there. That one's a little more common now because of the internet, but like 2010 ish, Twitter wasn't like that. Like people didn't have Twitter, so there wasn't so much connection. Like I remember people used to be like, "Yo, he drawing," and I'd be like, "Drawing? Like what are you?" Like, this motherfucker just said I was drooling. Like I really like I didn't know what people were saying, bro. They'd be like, "Yo, he wildin', bro. He wildin'. He drawing." I'd be like, pretend like I know what they talking about, bro. Like I really had no idea what people were saying, bro. Like, I'm like, what is drawing, bro? Yeah, Baltimore don't even count. That's not even. Them motherfuckers half British. Like that shit is really a different language, bro. Like all jokes aside, but yeah, equivalent to the to a casual conversation. Oh, yup. Had a roommate from the DMV. That's what you meant. DMV. He always says stamp. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Stuff like that, bro. I can't stand that shit, bro. I just be like, bro, why are you saying that, bro? There's no way y'all talk like that for real. We need to bring Yeet back? No, we don't, bro. It's this dude at my job that actually says Yeet. He from Wisconsin, so that lets you know that we don't need to bring it back because people from Wisconsin are using it. So, bro, they really have British though. Like they be saying like two, two. I only know a handful of people from there, but the people that I met from there, I was like, "There's no way you talk like that for real, bro." Like, I just remember there's this girl that was in my unit. Her name was Kendra, and she used to talk like that. And she'd be like, "Well, according to you," and I'd be like, "What kind of accent is that?" Like, even shit like all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or saying a word. Yeah, yeah, it depends on how you grew up. It depends on who you grew up around. Cause yeah, it's just stuff like that. You're right, bro. Like I think if you grew up like really black, a lot of those words they're like in common. Like I don't think I ever said word to a black person and they got confused. but I have said word to white people and they got confused. So like, code switching is real. It's tough, especially at work, bro. Like trying to be like, what's the professional phrase for what I'm thinking right now? You know what I mean? Yeah, Tank Davis manager. Yeah, bro. Well, Tank does too. Actually, Tank had a pretty strong accent. He's just quiet. He don't talk that much. But when he does start talking, he got a pretty strong accent too. But you're right. His trainer's accent is stronger for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, that's how it works. And that's actually going back to language learning. That's something I tell people to not get discouraged by. Um, if you're not from a place, or you don't live there, or you don't like really like live that culture, there's just gonna be a lot of words that you don't understand. Like if someone studied English for 10 years and they went to Baltimore and they didn't understand them, I wouldn't I wouldn't be like, you don't know English. I just be like, bro, I don't understand what they're saying either, bro. Don't worry about it. Like so sometimes people are like, for like I use Spanish for example, like I talk to a lot of Puerto Ricans and I go to Puerto Rico. So most of the words that Puerto Ricans use, I know, and it don't sound weird to me. But sometimes people be like, "Bro, like, I thought my Spanish was good, but I talked to this Puerto Rican dude, and like, I literally couldn't understand nothing he was saying." And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's normal. Like, if you don't learn Caribbean Spanish, bro, you're not gonna understand none of those words. They're totally different words. Like, not even just the slang, the actual words. Like, the word I learned for trash can is not the same word that regular, like quote unquote, regular Spanish speakers use for trash can. So if I'm not talking to a Puerto Rican or a Dominican or even someone maybe there's some people in Colombia that might use that word. If I'm not talking to one of them and I use that word, people be like, "What?" And it makes you feel kind of weird. But the thing is, if both of us were in Puerto Rico and someone said that word, I would know what they was talking about, and the native speaker wouldn't know what they was talking about. So it just depends on who you learn from, what you're around. You just gotta accept that you ain't gonna be able to understand everyone in the world perfectly, even if you're a native speaker, bro. Sometimes when people from Scotland talk, I'd be like, dog, I don't know what this dude's saying. Craziest accent ever. You know. Yeah. Try to speak with as much respect as possible. Yeah. Yeah, nah, some stuff you can't hold back and it don't sometimes you don't even know. Sometimes I say stuff that I don't even know is like black till I say it and like my coworkers are like, "Bro, what did you just say?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I thought that was a common term. I thought that was professional." I'm like, "Oh no." So, whatever. Sorry, come from a different culture. A lot of foreigners do know sus. You know what? Because sus. All right, so check this out. I don't know how big you are into Twitter, but a lot of man, this is gonna be like weird to explain. A lot of African American vernacular English is popular on Twitter. Like these people that barely speak English love using the slang that we use. There'd be like stan accounts, bro. It'd be someone that like runs a Beyonce fan page account, and they will be using like as much black slang as possible, bro. And because of that, there's lots of accounts that will like be using words like sus and all kinds of stuff. Not necessarily saying that sus is like very black, but it's not very professional or common. Like a regular, I don't think a regular American is gonna know what sus means. They're gonna think of like actual suspect. So stuff like that is like really. popular on Twitter. It's really weird, actually, to the point that like sometimes they don't know what they're talking about. So like, I'm gonna type it in the chat. Some of y'all probably already have seen this happen, but you know, black people say "child," like "child," and so there was this whole thing on Twitter where like these stan accounts were using this, and they thought it was pronounced chili. So this girl on TikTok was saying like chili. I was disgusted, and people were like, "Why are you saying chili?" And she's like, "Chili, like chili, blah blah blah." And they're like, "Oh, you thinking of this?" And like people were commenting like, "Are you talking about this?" And she's like, "Yeah, chili." And they're like, "That's not chili." Like so, it's weird, man. The internet has made the world. Yeah, Phil, you remember that? Yeah, the internet has made the world really weird because we got connected. You get connected and you get to hear people talk that you would never get to hear talk. You know what I'm saying? Like someone from Taiwan can drop on this live right now and hear me use an expression that they would never hear in real life, or they could follow me on Twitter and see me tweet already, and they might not know how to use that because they're reading it, and so they're just gonna be like, okay, he replied to this dude and said already. Already means this. He might use it in a totally wrong context, in a totally wrong context. So busted is still a term for ugly, to be honest. For me, anyways, I still be saying that, or I say hurt, and any kind of synonym for hurt. That's how I get away from people knowing what I'm talking about. I just be like, ooh, she's not gonna be starting this year. She out for the season. She hurt, bro. I say I'm finna brush my teeth, and my wife will be like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, hurt. Classic term. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but like I said, man, stuff like that, it's not even really explainable, bro. Like, how would you put that in a language learning book, bro? You can't put that in a book. You can't be like, if you think a girl's unattractive, call her hurt. It's like, nah, bro, nah. Let them figure that out on their own. So that's the problem with language learning applications, grammar books, stuff like that. If you got the basic structure of a language down, you need to start having conversations. You need to watch, like what I'm doing right now. Obviously, other people in other countries and other languages do drop in on their live stream because you're gonna hear them in their most informal, like informal speech, at least for the internet. This is not as informal as I get because for one, I'm still trying to be understood, right? I can't like talk how I talk to my best friend or people would just be in the chat. Like, I mean, maybe Phil's from Texas, so like Phil will probably know what I was talking about. But like we said, you're from Jersey, people from Washington, people from wherever. It's like, what's this? What's this mean? What's this mean? So I'm still trying to pick like neutral words. I'm still like enunciating because I'm on a mic, I'm on a screen. Like I don't want people being like, hey, I don't know what you just said. So it's a little bit different than like real informal speech. You can only get that from like being in like a barber shop or like really kicking it with people on the weekend and stuff. But still, you can get some pretty informal speech from something like this. You know what I mean? I'm still saying stuff like you know what I mean. I wouldn't say like nah I mean at work. I probably wouldn't anyways. I might, but busted, chopped, hurt, fried. Yeah, fried. I still say fried. Yeah, yeah. That shit cannot be taught, bro. You gotta just, you gotta just, you just gotta hear it. You gotta hear it and experience it, bro. Like, uh, and then yeah, and then some slang goes out of style. I done talked about this on here before, but like, or Phil, you still in Texas? Uh, I talked about going live before. Like when we were growing up, going live meant something. I'm sure it don't really mean that no more because there's live streams now. Like, bro, every time I bust out laughing, every time I open up YouTube, I click the create button, I click go live. First of all, I already started laughing there. And it says Quick Temper is going live. I'm just like, pause, bro. Like, I'm just like, bro, what? And so slang changes. Like, if you said going live 20 years ago, 10 years ago, it would only mean one thing. And it was used. It was actually used. I don't live in Texas, so I can't tell you. Phil will be able to tell you. It's a Texas thing. It's not that you're too young. It's that it was just like real Texas. Going live is like boy going live on it. Nah, going live is something it's something sexual. It's like top. But yeah, like I said, I'm sure that's not if it is still used, it's probably used by people our age. I'm sure it's not commonly used because, like I said, there's too many applications that are gonna say this person is going live and like just uh, a different phrase, a different phrase for it now. But every time, bro, it should say Quick Temp is going live. I hurry up, backspace that shit, and put self improvement live chat on here. One time, I almost just left it, and I was like, nah, I can't, bro. I'm too childish. I was like, I can't leave that, bro. Like just the thought of someone reading my shit and it says Quick Temp is going live. I was like, I can't leave that on there, bro. So clearly, I'm not an adult. Nah, I ain't no go live here, bro. But yeah. So like I said, you know, the thing is, there's a lot of slang, bro. Like I can't understand people from Sinaloa. That's very specific, but I get what you're saying though. No, there's definitely specific regions of countries where people talk very differently and or fast or just yeah just different. Uh, it still is just now. It's just more thoughty. Give me face, yeah, stuff like that. You gotta just you gotta just learn that. And you know, like if someone has a good enough understanding of the language, even if they never heard it before, they could probably like figure it out, right? But that's the whole thing. You learn the language and you do figure stuff out like that. Like you listen to music and you're like, oh, that's gotta mean this. Like that can only mean this. I still remember Bopper. You know what? I feel like see, this is tough because, like I said, like the people I'm most in communication with are still from Texas. Like my best friend, like even you feel like so like it wouldn't be weird for me to say like she a bop. Like, but I don't know if other people will still say that. Like I don't know if that's like a common Texas phrase still. Like I don't know. But I do remember like uh what was that High School Musical or something? I just remember like when that came out, bro, that was so funny because it was like bop 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 to the top. I was just like, bro, she said bop to the top, and like yeah, like I said, I'm childish, so there's that. Hit them bops up from the L, exactly, bro. But yeah, okay, actually, a good example is what Phil just said. Hit them bops up from the L. If you're not from Killeen, you don't even know what the L is, right? So how could you like if you were learning English and you read that sentence, hit them bops up from the L, and like you're just like on Google like bops, like bop is like it's gonna tell you like a bop is a punch or something like that. Let's just say you figured out bops, then you like hit them bops up from the L. What is the L? Like you wouldn't know where to start, bro. Like unless you knew where Phil was from, unless you knew where I was from, you wouldn't know where to start. You would never get Long Branch out of the L. Like you would have to be from the area to know what that means. So when you learn a language, you're gonna run into a lot of stuff like that. Especially that's what discourages people in real life. They learn all this stuff. They go in a barber shop or something. They're like, I'm gonna just pretend like I don't understand. I'm gonna sit back and listen, and you realize you don't understand nothing. Because people talk like that. Like, yeah, I was swinging through the L, saw this bop, blah blah blah. Like, bro, you already lost in the first sentence of the conversation. After that, you're not getting nothing, bro. So give me mata. Okay, yeah. I mean, like I said, I was in New York, so I know what that is. But yeah, bop is like Trish, exactly. Trisha. Yeah, you wouldn't even know it was Long Branch if you never saw the park. Exactly. So it's like 5 layers deep. Or like the dub. How you gonna know what the dub is, bro? Like, okay, it would be different if like so at least for Long Branch it's L, right? But we call Willow Springs the dub. Like you ain't never gonna get Willow Springs out of the dub because it's not like we're saying W. We're not saying WS. We say the dub. Like he from the dub. Oh shit, for real? He from the dub? If you're not from Killeen, you would never get Willow Springs out of that, bro. Ever. So speak to some women from the Long Branch area. Yeah. The only one from Killeen, like the only hood from Killeen that you could probably get is like the borough, just cause like Marlboro, right? But yeah, that's the only one. But like I said, the dub, like you're not getting that, bro. Yeah, that's too local, exactly, bro. But that's my point though. When you learn languages, like you're gonna run into people talking like that local, especially if they're from the same place. And that's what usually happens. People go to other countries or they hear two people from the same place talking to each other and they're like, oh man, like Puerto Ricans talk so fast. And I'm like, they do, but you were listening to two Puerto Ricans talk to each other that know all the same slang, that know all the same stuff. So they're not gonna slow down. They're not gonna use neutral words. They're gonna use stuff that they know. And that makes it way harder to understand. If you would have listened to two different people, or sorry, two people from two different countries talk to each other, they would use more neutral words and you probably would understand more of the conversation because they have to make sure that they're being understood between each other. So, yeah, anyways, I say that to say, like, you know, don't get discouraged if you hear native speakers talking and, like, you don't know what the hell they're talking about. Damn, it's 9:40. Yo, last night and tonight, these been some popping live sessions, bro. I don't know if y'all bored or what, but y'all wasn't coming like this a couple weeks ago, bro. But I'm happy to see it. Uh, I watched a video on this dude and his sentence. The what video did you watch, bro? Is this Japanese or what? This is why you ain't replying to my text. Ah, shit. Hold on, let me look. I knew I could find you here. Whoa, great job, detective. I'll send it to you when I get off here. I'm gonna be on here for like 15 to 30 more minutes, depending on how many people talk. So I'll be feeling bad watching videos with my Korean homie. Yeah, yeah. I mean, It's nothing you could do about it, man. Like learning language takes time, man. Like it's like I said, it's tough. It's tough. Japanese, they use it only in super casual conversation. Well, what does it mean, bro? You didn't tell us what it meant. We don't speak Japanese. Yeah, Phil, I'm in trouble, bro. My wife on a live stream and shit. I can't even say nothing cool no more. I gotta be careful now. I guess it's the same as talking to you. How about go to work? How about that? And get off my live stream. Sorry, y'all. Can't have no fun in the chat now. My wife's here. No more talking about boppers. She's supposed to be working, but she's clearly not working. Monyeko's under the bed hiding like he always does, so we're not gonna see him. Get out of here. Get out of this chat. They don't want you here. It's hard to explain. It doesn't really have a meaning. It's like saying I'm gonna eat pizza, bro. What? Bro, what does that mean? Oh, bro being almost the equivalent. Okay. Yeah, everyone just ignore Axa. If you see the name Axa Molina, that is my wife. Don't don't entertain nothing she says. Just ignore. Or pretend that she's not here. Yeah, I'm not even gonna pretend I know how to pronounce that Japanese word, but good example. Like we said, there's some stuff that you can only get from a super casual conversation, right? How do you ignore yourself? You should try it. You should click X. That's how you ignore yourself. Yeah. That's how I tell people about karaoke. Yeah. Exactly, bro. Yeah, some stuff like you can't explain. You know, like you said, Dominican say que lo que, Puerto Rican say que la que hay. Like if you like really try to break down que la que hay, like you're gonna be like, what is there? Like that doesn't really make sense. Like or even like Colombians, they say que más or cubo. Like what more or like what happened. It's like kind of like it's weird if you try to translate it. You just gotta like yeah, that's just people say. Ask him about our first date. Bro, get out of here. No one wants to talk about this. We're having a serious conversation. Sorry she's running the chat, y'all. Sorry. Sorry she's ruining our language learning chat talking about first dates. How about no? Because everyone in here don't speak Spanish. Why would I do that? See what happens when you come in and insert yourself without knowing the details. We have a Japanese learner, a French learner, a Portuguese learner. I think our Spanish learner left. So why would I speak in Spanish? Okay, so this is a good example. Through my like, depending on who I'm talking to, I'll say my and pai. But like with my wife, for example, I feel like if I say my or pai, she's gonna be like, "What did you say?" So I would never say that to her. But if I'm talking to my friends, I will say that because she would never say my. She would never say pai. Feel she might be gone. She said okay bye, but I feel like she said okay bye just to see if I say something because I think she's gone. So she's probably gonna pretend like she's not here, but she's still creeping in the shadows. Don't worry. But she's probably not gonna answer your question because I feel like even if you don't speak Portuguese, you would know what that sentence means. Maybe I don't know. Axel, why are you pretending like you left? We know you're still here. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, we'll pretend like she's not here, even though we know she's here. Isn't Portuguese like the same as Spanish, just more complex? Nah, it's like say bye, but the number of viewers stayed the same. Exactly. I think she probably don't. She probably didn't think about the viewers on there. We know you're still here. You're crazy. No, 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 no. Portuguese is not the same. Like the thing is, it kind of looks the same. So like, especially depending on like what style of Spanish that you speak, right? So like, there's uh there's certain countries like certain parts of Colombia, a lot of Argentina, a lot of Uruguay. They use vos instead of tu, right? And so he says, "Você fala português." Uh, and so like "você" kind of sounds like "vos," right? And so if you spoke Spanish like that, then you would say, "Oh, I kind of understand this." But like the next word, that's not the same word as like hablar. Like it's not. It's different. So if you read it, you could figure out a lot of stuff. When I read Portuguese, like on Twitter and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of get this. But when they speak, nah, I don't be understanding nothing. I remember I got excited when disculpe was sorry. Yeah, exactly. A lot of similar words. In fact, I just watched this video on Twitter. I was gonna go back and watch it later tonight because I got confused. It was like this dude in Brazil at like a he was in the hood buying drugs, but it was like a table with a bunch of drugs on it. And I understood everything he was saying, bro. And I was like, is he speaking Portuguese or is he speaking Spanish? And they're just speaking Portuguese back to him. I was really confused. So I was gonna go back and watch that later. But when people that are actually from Brazil speak Portuguese, I don't be understanding. Kind of how I feel about French right now. Noticing hella similarities with English. What similarities are you noticing? Like I said, I can count to five in French, so I'm kind of fluent in French. But really, the thing that was stopping me from counting to 10 was just like, um, I couldn't think of the number six. I feel like if I could think of the number six, I will be able to get to 10. So, what I'm about to do now is Google the number six so that I can then count to 10 and be even more. What? This shit says six. There's no way. Okay. Yeah, no. I don't know French. I lied. Un, deux, trois, quatre, 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 quatre. Un, deux, trois, quatre. Un, deux, trois, quatre, quatre, quatre. Nah, I'm done. Fuck French. I never liked French. Fuck my French teacher. She was mean. But I can count in German. I was in a German immersion class. Boy, polyglot, let's go. Yeah, I'm about to just start telling people I know four languages because I can count to 10 in four of them. So be like, well, I speak varying levels in each language, you know. But really, I can only just count to 10 in French, German, Arabic, and everything else I literally forgot, bro. Um, what's some common Spanish slang that I use? I don't really know. That's a weird question. Like, I will have to. I will have to think of the word in English, or I will have to have like a situation um, to to tell you. But I would say like the most common is just like kind of like shit talking words. Like if I'm talking to like any of my friends, like cabron, huele bicho, rasca bicho, mama bicho, stuff like that. I'm not gonna tell you what that means because it's very inappropriate. I can't think of any off the top of my dome, off the top of the dome, but the complex way of saying things in English is usually the French. Okay, yeah, that's the same in Spanish actually. Like there's rules for cognates. Like I was saying earlier, if it ends in ent, it's usually like ente in Spanish, or like if it ends in or, it's usually or. Stuff like that. Exactly. Presentation. I don't know how to say that in French, but in Spanish, presentación. So stuff like that. Access is rude. Yes. Hey, my French teacher was mean. My German teacher was mean. So like whatever they get in life, they just deserve it. Planet Moolah. Did I find out what happened last night? Yes, a lady got shot and bear maced at the grocery outlet. So very, very interesting. They said she was like, I don't know, about to fight outside of the grocery outlet, and instead of fighting, they just shot her. So, kind of sad. Bruh, she not even lurking. She just commented and said rude. So she said she was gonna be a fly on the wall. She said she was gonna be here, but we're just gonna keep talking as if she's not here. So it's cool. Do I live in the ghetto or what? I feel like I don't, but I say this, like I don't feel uncomfortable, so it's not the ghetto. Like I've been in the hood. I didn't live in the hood, but I've been in the hood multiple times, and like when you're in the hood, you like I shouldn't be here, bro. Like I need to get out of here, and so yeah, the viewers stayed the same. It's just funny because she really didn't think about that when it happened. Like she thought she was just gonna pretend that she left. Oh man, actually, you funny. But nah, I don't live in the ghetto. You could walk around my neighborhood, bro. She just messed with the wrong people. I don't know who she was messing with, but don't fight people outside a grocery outlet. Let me tell you that. Cause they was dumping, bro. That was like a whole clip. crazy. I watched Mike Ben's video talking about why he got bored of Spanish and doesn't want to travel anymore. Oh yeah, what did you think about it? Was that the only video you watched of his, or that was just the most recent one you watched? He's got some good videos, man. People people hate when I say this, but I miss living in the hood. I got a military family and shit, so we moved hella. Okay, I mean, yeah, you miss your guys. That's different though, bro. Like, I do get what you're saying though. Like, all right, like my mom's side of the family, I'm gonna say they don't live in the hood, but Axel said, "Can y'all shut up about the viewers?" Yeah, my mom's side of the family, they don't live in the hood, but it's ghetto, like it's poor. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's a sense of community when it's poor. Like in the hood, like you can go outside, bro. You can go outside and kick it with everybody else. Everybody else is gonna be sitting on a porch. Everybody else is gonna be outside. You could walk around. You could go. You don't even. Sometimes you don't even gotta knock, bro. You could just go to somebody's house, open up the door, like, "Yo, what's up, Granny?" Blah blah blah. I miss that aspect of like the community. You know what I mean? Like I don't know any of my neighbors, bro. I don't know anybody, bro. Every person I see is suspicious to me because I don't know you. I don't know what you're up to. Nothing like that. And so I agree with you, bro. There's something about feeling at home that you can't get from places that are not like that. So and just like having fun, you know what I mean? Music up, not having the music up, screaming, not screaming, like literally being able to do what you want because like people are not gonna call the cops on you. You know what I mean? Yes, I'm in Renton, Mister Interrogator. You've been asking some questions, bro. I keep every time you ask a question, I look out the window like to see if it's like a red beam on my head or something like that. But yes, it's the ghetto, so a little fancy but still hood. Don't listen to Axel. It's not hood like that. It's it's like anywhere else in the United States. Like you can't just be going wherever you want to at nighttime, but it's not. He said renting is ghetto. All right, never mind. Never mind. Disregard whatever I was gonna say. Renting is ghetto. Well, I sure pay a lot of money to stay in a ghetto place. They need to drop my rent. Hopefully, more people get shot that aren't me, so my rent can go down. I live in an older retirement type neighborhood now. It just ain't the same. Where you live at, bro? Like roughly. I ain't trying to like put your specifics out there, but I feel like it's only so many retirement communities. I think of St. Augustine when I think of retirement communities like that. That rich part of Jacksonville, World of Golf. Renton always been rich. Ooh, we got opposing opinions here. We got Renton is ghetto right on top of Renton always been rich. Which one is it, guys? I'm gonna say something right now. One of you is a cop. If a cop says Renton is, I live in Salt Lake City. How you know about Renton then, bro? You used to live here or what? Girl, bye. I don't even know who you saying girl bye to. Which part? Like Renton is ghetto or Renton has always been rich? We need specifics, Oxa. You can't just be saying girl bye. For the ops. I have family from Washington. All right, but to be fair, when's the last time you've been here? Because my dad came here in like 1990 and he said he got shot at and he didn't say Renton. It was somewhere around here. And I was like, yeah, nah, that place is not like that no more. But one of the bases in the Midwest, Fort Riley. I'm trying to think of somewhere like retirement in the Midwest. Fort Riley, Kansas would be a. I don't know. That's not considered a Midwest, is it? It's both. Okay, you're on the money here. Renton is near South Seattle and Rainier Beach, which are both ghetto. South Seattle is ghetto. Rainier Beach is ghetto. I don't think Renton is ghetto. I think there might be a part of Renton that's ghetto that I haven't been to. But if you came to where we live at, there's no way you would say this place is ghetto. There's just no way. Um, if you Antequilla is ghetto. Man, y'all saying the whole state's ghetto, bro. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess this this. All right, let me say this. Compared to some real hood places, this is nothing. Like if the person last night didn't get shot, I would have told y'all like, bro, nothing happens here at all, bro. Like literally nothing. Like I said, like you could walk around at nighttime here. Now there do be some there be some crackheads right over here sometimes, but that's Washington. So first of all, MLK Junior, like anytime you see that, it's not great. So have I seen the prostitutes on Aurora? I don't know what Aurora is, and so no, I haven't seen any prostitutes. I'll be replying late to you. Look, the stream doesn't go. The chat doesn't pop up as soon as you hit send, it doesn't pop up immediately for me. It pops up at another time. So um, I just look at it. I just look at the laptop and see what I see. So I lived in Georgia, which everybody says is mad dangerous. It wasn't bad. All right, but Marie, you're from New Jersey, bro. So like in comparison, probably nothing's that bad. Especially, I don't know what part of New Jersey you're from, but oh, I've been in New Jersey. There ain't really that many good parts of it. So Seattle on track to beat highest homicides since '93. I'm guessing highest homicides in Seattle, right? That doesn't surprise me either. Still not as dangerous as other parts of the country. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like, bro, Houston, Dallas, places like that, bro. I would not even want to be out at nighttime. Like, that's what I be trying to tell people about places like this. Like, obviously crime happens here, but I feel like you have to be into stuff for crime to happen. Besides like car break-ins, like getting shot and stuff, bro. Like maybe random people are getting shot. I don't know about it. But in Houston, you could really get carjacked, bro. You would just pull up to a red light and there's a gun at your window. Like, get out. Yeah, Jersey Wicked. Yeah, exactly, bro. So that's what I'm saying, bro. If you've been in a place like that, it's kind of hard to, bro. I haven't like I said, it's kind of tough to say, right? Because that thing happened last night. But even still, I didn't even witness that. I just heard it. Like that is the first gun crime. Nah, that's the second. Because one time me and Axa heard like something at an apartment complex over there. That's the second time I've heard guns go off in like 5 years in Washington, bro. Like that will be um normal in Texas. It's like, oh yeah, somebody just got shot, whatever. That's why I didn't react that hard when it happened. Like I've heard guns enough times in my life that I'm like, hmm, you know, downtown Seattle is dangerous. Seattle becoming Chicago, bro. Nah, you tripping. There's no way. I was in like we were in Seattle a week ago. Don't get me wrong, not a place I really want to be, but it's not Chicago. There's no way. There's no way, bro. Let me hold on. Let me pull up some stats, bro. You talking crazy? Let me see. Seattle murders. Seattle has experienced a high number of homicides in 2022. 47 homicides. What a crazy big number. Hell nah. Now let's look up Chicago murders. Chicago murders 2022. There was 697. That is quite a difference. Philadelphia 516, Houston 435, New York 436. That's what I think about when I think of crime. Now, granted, those places are bigger than Seattle. Trust me, I know. But I bet you if I looked up the rate, those rates are still higher than Seattle. The AI is shooting shit now. With the homeless and drug problem, it might be worse than Chicago. Bro, no. What? Where are you getting this stuff from, bro? You need to go to Chicago. Cause yeah, Chicago's the last place I live. Yeah, exactly, bro. That's like when people tell me they're visiting Chicago, I'm like, for what, bro? Like I would never go there. You couldn't get me to go there, bro. Yeah, exactly. Like 40 is a huge number relatively, but like it's just not that much. It's a lot. Don't get me wrong. But like I said, I bet you if you broke down like who those 40 people are, I guarantee you like the number inside of that 47 or whatever it was that were like random victims of crime, like I bet you is low. I bet you gang shootings, drug dealing, stuff like that, right? So that kind of stuff doesn't really worry me. Like, of course, you get caught in crossfire or whatever like that, but I care more about like places where people are taking people out of their cars. You know what I mean? Robbing people on the street at gunpoint, stuff like that. 700,000 people. Seattle has 700,000 people. I feel like that's a lot for that. I mean, I guess I thought Seattle was smaller than that, to be honest. Let's see. Seattle. Oh, damn, I typed in the wrong number. Population 2023. 755,000. It's quite a bit of people for that small area. Philly not that bad? Nah, you sound like this dude saying that Seattle is that bad. Philly's bad, bro. Hell nah. If I work on base and live in Renton, that's a long commute. Yes, it is a long commute. That's why I get off of these YouTube lives at 10:30, like no matter what. Cause I'm like, I need at least like 6 hours of sleep. You think Philly's not bad, but you think New York is crazy? I think New York's crazy too. So my problem is places. My problem is places where things are not defined well. Like I always tell my wife, in Texas, you know where not to go. Like you know, you cross the train tracks and you're like, I'm in the hood, bro. I need to go back this way. Like I was saying about Renton, like you could drive like 5 minutes over and be in a rough spot and you don't even know it because everything's just random, bro. There's no like clearly defined like this is where rich people live, this is where like middle class people live, this is where poor people live. No disrespect to poor people. But in Texas, you're in a poor neighborhood and you know you're in a poor neighborhood. There's no question there, bro. Like if you're in the suburbs, you know you're in the suburbs. Like in Killeen, where me and Phil are from, like where I went to high school at is undeniably the suburbs. You can't be like, oh well, I'm from this part of Harker Heights. It's like you're from Harker Heights, bro. You're in the suburbs. If you're from Killeen, you can't say I'm from the rich part of Killeen. There is no rich part of Killeen, bro. You are from Killeen. You might not be in the worst part of Killeen, but you're not living in no mansion in Killeen, bro. You live in Killeen. Yeah, I feel out of place in Heights. Exactly. Like Heights is it's nice, bro. Like if something happens there, you're like, wow, I can't believe somebody got shot in Heights. I can't believe somebody got robbed in Heights. That's crazy. Like that's where I went to high school at. Where I went to middle school at, it's the exact opposite. It's like if somebody got shot, you would just be like, oh, did they at least let their kids live? Like, yeah, I mean, like they demolished my middle school, bro. Like, I think the class after us, maybe two classes after us, was the last people that could go to Fairway Middle School. That area was so bad and so much crime happened at the middle school, bro, that they're just like tear it down. We don't need it no more. I always, I actually don't want to say his name just because I don't ever want to start like problems like with people from the past. But there was a dude that went to my middle school. Keep in mind, I had came from Columbia, South Carolina at the time. Like I'm from Texas, but I left, came back, whatever. I didn't even know it was real. Yeah. Um, there was a dude when I got to Fairway. I went back to Fairway Middle School in seventh grade. I'm gonna just say his name. I think I don't think none of y'all are gonna like go tell him. His name was Robert Willis, bro. This dude already had a kid, bro, in seventh grade. And I'm not saying he had a kid on the way. He had a kid, bro. Like people would bring him his kid at the end of the school day, and he'll be like showing us his kid that was like 1 or 2 years old already, like him and his baby mom. And like he would even say like, "Nah, I'm not with my baby mom no more." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "How old are we, bro? Like we're in seventh grade. Like what's happening right now? I'm confused." Like dude had a mustache and shit, bro. Like I'm not even joking. He would dunk in seventh grade. He was big, like facial hair. At track meets, he would smoke everybody. He would drive to the track meets. Like this is the kind of place that Fairway was. Like this is where we was living at. I don't know how old he was, bro. Was he our age? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But that was Robert Willis. I will never forget that dude for my entire life. And then the thing I always think about, we had this Puerto Rican substitute teacher, bro. She was fine. And he used to be like, hey, bro, she be calling me after class. When y'all leave, I'll be smashing. And I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. I'm like, no, you don't. But I'm looking back at it, he probably was smashing because he was an adult, bro. Like, and she probably was like 19 years old or something. Like, at the time, she looked grown to us, but I'm just thinking about her face and what she looked like. And I'm like, yeah, she was like 19 or 20 years old. And he probably was too in seventh grade. So, yeah, that was Fairway Middle School, bro. That was Fairway Middle School. I remember, again, all right, this time I'm actually not gonna say no names because like this was like a real situation that happened and like we're cool now, but like we're not that cool. So these dudes are trying to jump me, bro. And I just remember everybody being like, bro, you shouldn't come to school, bro. Like you should like chill because his brother is like a real deal crip. And I'll be like, but why would he call his brother on me? And they'll be like, why wouldn't he, bro? Like, well, he not gonna risk losing the fight. Like his brother would just shoot you. And I'll be like, I'm in seventh grade, bro. And they're like, yeah, 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 but like, yeah, his brother's gonna shoot you though. And like his brother was like 25, bro. And I just be like, hey, like what y'all think I should do? And they like, bro, you should like try to squash it. And I would be talking to this dude in class. I'd be like, bro, like what's your problem with me, bro? Like why are you trying to take this further than a fist fight and stuff like that? Cause I wanted to fight, and he was just like, I'm calling my brother. And I just be like, why, bro? Like what did I do to you? Like why are you trying to do this? And like he'll listen to everything I had to say, and I promise you, he would do this. He'll be like, nah, I feel what you're saying, but my brother not gonna let that slide, bro. He not gonna let that rock because I had already told him what happened, and he get out of jail in like 2 weeks. Like he gonna try to fuck you up. And I just be like, well, like where do I live at, bro? Like what is going on? Like, bro, that's Fairway. That's why I demolished that shit, bro. It was not a safe place for kids, bro. So, nah, he wasn't fresh off the boat, bro. He was from Louisiana. No, no, okay. To your point, Katrina victims, they they came to Texas and they were older than they said they were for sure, 100%. So 6 girls in the eighth grade get pregnant. Yeah, that's crazy. Nah, yeah, like Dominicans, people from islands or African countries, yeah, they be lying, bro. Everyone in Cuba that comes to America just lies. They be like, I'm 6. They be looking like me with full beards, losing their hair and shit. It's like, bro, you're not 6. You're 60. Stop it. They were a whole new breed. Yeah, man. So, anyways, I said that to say, you've been to places like that. I, I don't know, man. I have a different idea of like what the hood is. Like I said, not that I would want to, but it's 10:20. Like if I needed to go outside right now, I wouldn't be like, I need to be strapped up or like this might happen out here or whatever. Like you can go outside. Like it's not like that. I wouldn't be outside for no reason, like just because like for what, but I wouldn't be thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get shot if I go outside or someone's gonna rob me or something. Fires out that baseball, full beard. Facts, bro. The Hodge twins, man, I haven't seen that name in like 12 years, bro. Nah, I don't watch the Hodge twins because from what I know, they're like into politics now or something like that. So I'm not really a political guy. So no, I don't watch that. I did watch them when I was like, I don't know, 18 years old or something. Like, how old am I now? Man, it was like almost like 12, 13 years ago. I used to watch them when they were like, they would both be on the screen. He'll be like, "Fuck out of the way," and then be like, "Hey man, listen up. You want to get swole? I'm gonna give you some tips right now." And they would just talk about fitness, and they would, yeah, they would. That was a cool channel back in the day. But no, whatever they're doing now, I don't watch it. So if you're gonna tell me something like, oh, they're super hardcore Republicans now, that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. Um, yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me that much. I think powerlifting, bodybuilding, any type of like dudes that were into that stuff 10 years ago or so, it wouldn't surprise me that they turned out being like super hardcore Republicans because like that goes like it's like in line with the values of those dudes back in the day. Like old school powerlifting, old school bodybuilding was like grunting and being like as masculine, alpha male, whatever stuff they call it as possible, and like uh yeah, it's like I said, typical stuff that would go in line with that now. Plus, like I feel like the influencer to Fox News pipeline is real because you can develop like you can get a hardcore fan base by being super Republican, like outspoken fan base. If you're on the other side, it's more to me it's more popular, but your fan base is not gonna be as hardcore because like you're not gonna really get that much resistance. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't want to get political, but if I say something popular, people might agree with me, but it's not gonna create like a cult like following. Versus if you go against that popular thing, people are like, "Yo, we gotta look out for this dude. We gotta make sure he knows we have his back." Some racist words I would say, but I'm not. I know exactly what you're thinking. You don't even gotta say it, bro. But yeah, like I said, we gonna keep the. Ooh, a psychology expert shares 7 toxic phrases highly insecure people use. All right, let me read these to y'all real fast, cause I know y'all toxic. I don't have time for this. My other priorities are more important. How's that toxic? I already tried this, but it didn't work. This is a stupid idea. Everything is working fine as it is. I was about to say, damn, I'm insecure as hell, bro. This is just another way for management to cut jobs. Hmm. Interesting. Let's see. This might work for others, but it's not for me. Can we think of something else? I'm not feeling this. It's obvious that whoever came up with this idea is clueless about the complexity of my work. For some reason, I thought this was gonna be like a relationship toxicity thing, but it's clearly about work. But I just wasn't expecting to read none of that. I'm like, bro, I hear people say that at work every day. I was about to say, I think all of my coworkers say all seven of those every single day. So we're just a toxic staff. That's cool. At least all of us are toxic together. You know what I mean? That's got to count for something. That's pretty positive, I think. And boys, I've been on here like shit a long time, man. I'm almost at 2 hours. That's crazy. Well, might as well just go to 2 hours now. What's that? 3 more minutes. It looks like. I mean, unless y'all ask a question that requires me to go over the time. This ain't it, fam. Yeah, me too. Probably every day. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna just like cut it off at 2 hours, but if we're not talking about nothing, I probably will. But this is a good one, man. This is a good one. 2 days in a row, super active lives. I don't know what made them so active, but I'm feeling it, bro. Yesterday and today, I think I got on at 8:30. So that's looking like the magic. It's looking like the magic time right now. The only thing is tomorrow's Friday, so I feel like as many people won't be available because it's a Friday night, so it might not be as cool. But I might get on earlier because it's a Friday, so they're active because you're here. Okay, you came in late. We were active before you, bro. You came in and just shitted on renting in Seattle and like, bro, you were gonna go to Venezuela, and you're talking about renting being the hood. I can't believe that. That's insane, bro. You was gonna get off the plane and instantly they was gonna put a hood over your head and and kidnap you. Crazy. But nah, I know. I'm just messing with you, man. Like I said, everywhere everywhere has its bad places, but when a country's in a crisis, the whole country's bad to me because at any given moment, mm-mm, he's from Salt Lake City. That's true. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm sure nothing crazy is going on in Salt Lake City. So one of my coworkers is from Salt Lake City. Argentina's in a crisis. I didn't know that. I thought Argentina was doing good. That's why. That's exactly why you gotta check on stuff, bro. Like you can like book a flight or you can plan a trip and literally like in the span like however long you booked it and the span from when you book it to when it happens like that country's whole political climate can change, especially if there's an election or an assassination, which last year Argentina they had an assassination attempt on their vice prime minister. I saw the video. He walked up to her just like this, jammed. He would have had her brains all over the floor, bro. Taipei is in a crisis, and we're about to fly into the airport. We like to live on the edge. Well, good luck to you. I'll make sure. I'll make sure I let everyone know that you lived on the edge. Yo, and tell Josie she better be there this Sunday. She said she had a migraine this weekend, so I gave her a pass. But this Sunday, can't miss two weeks back to back. We can't do that. But she told me she's been keeping up with the workouts I've been giving her, so I was proud of that. I didn't know how many of the workouts she was gonna do when she wasn't with me, but she said she's been keeping up with them, so I'm a believer. Oh man. All right. It still says I got 7 people in here. I hate to go when there's so many people here, honestly. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give everyone a chance to say somewhat enjoying them. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna give everyone a chance to ask or say whatever they want to say before I get off of here. Like I said, I'm not gonna just click off. If anyone has anything they want to say, we covered a lot of stuff tonight. We talked about a lot of language learning stuff. Um, if you popped in late and you didn't hear any of the language learning stuff, here's your time. You can ask something. I'll help you as much as I can. If not, I'm about to get off of here, boys. Take me a shower. Get in a bed. Friday. Man, I really don't want to work tomorrow, but I already took one day off this week, so I don't want to take two. So, gotta do it. I'm gonna give y'all 1 minute or 1 minute and 15 seconds. When it gets to 1:24, I'm gonna cut this off. How did that Spanish live with the German girl go? You definitely have me confused with someone else. That's unless I just don't know what you're talking about. Spanish live with the German girl. Nah, bro, you definitely have me confused with someone else. Which is interesting because I wonder how long you've actually been confused. Thanks, Dakota. How's your weightlifting going, Dakota? You might not answer before I click off this video, but if you do, I'll be interested. I wish I could see your screen right now as you're looking and you're thinking, wait a second, who is this dude? I was speaking Spanish with a girl with a oh, you're talking about Bria. Was it a black girl? She's not German. She's in the military. She's just stationed in Germany. Sorry. Okay. I was just like, wait a second. I was really thinking of like a German girl. I was like, I didn't speak any Spanish with any German girls. But yeah, it was good. She learned from the guy that taught me, so she's like what 10 weeks in and having conversations on live. So I was very proud and impressed by her. That's super good. And so we're gonna come back in 20 weeks, or sorry, in 10 weeks, which would be 20 weeks of learning for her, and we're gonna see how much she's improved. So I like I like talking to everyone in Spanish. When I talk to people like that, I have to bring the level down. But it's good though because just like in your native language, if you can't talk to someone that doesn't understand as much, or if you can't explain something to a 5 year old, then you don't really know it that well. So it's a bit of a challenge for me to find the words that a beginner is gonna understand. But it's a good challenge because, like I said, it makes me really test what I know. So double snatch at 175. Bro, why do you hang snatch more than you squat snatch? That's insane. It's very CrossFit like. Why do they call it a snatch? Because you snatch it from the ground and put it over your head. Back in the day, it didn't used to be into a squat. They used to snatch it into a split. They used to split their feet to get under it. But now, pretty much everyone catches it in the squat position. So, you snatch the gold. I see. I'm gonna have to just click the X. But I think everyone that's gonna ask something did ask something. I still see like 6 people in here, but I don't think anyone else is gonna say anything. So balancing the bar into the squat is difficult. Yeah, it is. It is for sure. But it just takes time and practice. So all right, appreciate y'all. I'm gonna hit the sack. Pause. I'm gonna hit the bed. Might be on here at the same time tomorrow. I think I'm gonna schedule it tomorrow so y'all know exactly when I'm gonna get on. I think I'm gonna schedule it earlier in the day so you might see it say like I'll be on YouTube live at 8 o'clock or at 8:30 or something like that. So, all right, peace. Thanks for watching, y'all.